Having trouble selecting a pre-workout? I have some information on 4 different companies that might help you make a better decision before your purchase. Coming up next. Let's build together. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of That Guy Health. So today we have a product review on pre-workouts, and this is going to be the pre-workout shootout. Now, it took some time for this video to come out because, one, I had to give myself a week. Well, I didn't have to, but I chose to try to give each pre-workout brand a fair shake. So what I did was I went off any pre-workout for a week, then I try that pre-workout, then go off another week, and then try the next one. That way, I'd had at least the minimal amount of interference from different brands to brand on the pre-workouts. That way I can give you guys the best explanation on my experience on these. So listen, if you haven't been to this channel before, I do product reviews like this one, tips, workouts, and other various fitness type things. So guess what? Definitely subscribe, click like and notifications so you can get updated anytime I post new material. Don't forget to follow my journey to the stage, as I am going to try to compete in bodybuilding and show you guys and share that experience with you as well. Follow the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and of course the YouTube. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this review. All right, guys, so let's get into this pre-workout shootout. It's pretty exciting. So like I've said, I tested 4 brands for you, hopefully to cut out a lot of the time that you might waste and money you might waste in trying to experience different ones and maybe not getting what you want out of a pre-workout. So with that being said, boom, I have some notes here. And of course, I'm going to read from them because I took notes during the course of me taking these pre-workouts. So 4 of the brands are Health Up Nutrition has Rev Up. This is a brand that you may not be familiar with. Right now, it is not highly popular in the stores, but guess what? It should be. I definitely love what I experienced on this one. The next one we have is MTS Clash, a very well-known, very concentrated, very well put together brand, period, throughout its entire brand, whether it's the protein, pre-workout, or any of the other supplements they make. MTS Nutrition has definitely done their homework, research, and delivered a premium product to the fitness community as a whole. The next thing we have here is C4 Ultimate. It's also a good pre-workout. I'm going to describe some attributes on that one, and maybe it's something that might work for you. And last is Beyond Raw Lit, and the same thing goes for that one. See if you like the attributes that I explained to you that I experienced, and maybe it might be something that you want to try out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link all these brands, all these pre-workouts down below in the description, so you can go and check them out for yourself. Look at the specs, look at some of the damn reviews on them from other people. Definitely Price Plow. They do ultimate reviews on a lot of supplements. Here I'm trying to go from a consumer's point of view to where you might walk in the store and be like, hey, what's the best one for me? And I'm going to give you basically an overall description of what I experienced and try to help you guys out. So let's go ahead and start with Beyond Raw Lit. So the key attribute in that pre-workout that I experienced was the sweat. So if you're looking for a pre-workout that has a thermogenic additive in it, that's going to heat you up, that's going to get you a nice sweat, I did notice that I was pretty much drenched in my workout and after with Beyond Raw Lit. And it is something that I definitely enjoyed about that pre-workout. All right, it does have a heavy onset. And if you're not familiar, what that means is basically when the pre-workout kicks in, it should be somewhere between, on average, 15 to 20 minutes. I usually experience my onset 10 to 15 minutes in, no matter what pre-workout I take. So how I notice that's happening is usually I'll feel like tingling in the face, my ear area, and then I know the pre-workout is in my system and then I'm ready to go. So I usually warm up during that whole time. Beyond Raw Lit does have a heavy onset. Another thing I didn't know, it has an acute pump, but then it has a drop off, a type of crash. So that's something that you might want to keep in mind. You'll get that pump like right there, and then usually midway to halfway through my routine, I noticed that I was diving. So I might experience some yawning or that pump just kind of deteriorating. That's an experience that I had on Beyond Raw Lit. So with that being said, take that in consideration before buying. If that's something that you want, something that's going to give you an acute pump and a good sweat, Beyond Raw Lit is your pre-workout. The next one we have is C4. So C4's key attribute was little to no crash. And when I say that, I mean I did experience somewhat of a crash, but nowhere near the comparison of the Beyond Raw Lit, which was its key attribute when I noticed. So that was something that was decent in it. It does have a heavy onset once again. So you're going to have that heavy kick in, and then you're going to have a nice steady pump. The pump does not drop off as fast as Beyond Raw Lit. However, I did experience some inconsistent focus within my routine. I found myself kind of mentally drifting off on other situations or areas. And maybe if this had happened 1 to 2 times, I would have been like, it's just something random. But it consistently happened in every routine, different routines, taking it. So the lack of mental focus was something that was there, but the other things that I did enjoy about it was the little to no crash and the onset, and the pump was a little bit more steady versus Beyond Raw Lit. The next brand I'm going to go to is MTS Clash. So here are going to be some key attributes that kind of flooded. It was like there's a key attribute. So MTS Clash definitely was a good one, all right? I noticed, and the highest attribute that I noticed with this one was the mental focus inside of any routine that I was doing. I was heavily focused on pushing myself, heavily focused on the reps. A lot of times I'm like, forget the count, I'm just going to failure. I love that about the Clash. That had me feeling like I got the most out of my workout, which is something I think a pre-workout should do. It has very little to no onset, which means you're going to experience an onset, but it's going to be very faint compared to the other two, C4 and Beyond Raw Lit. It was nowhere near as heavy as that, which is not something that's a bad or a good thing. It's just something that I noticed about that pre-workout. It does have a nice steady pump. So once you're up, you seem to stay in that area. But what I did notice about it is it didn't seem like an unnatural pump. The pump seemed like it totally was owned by me, and something that I would have had I had a good night's rest. I hadn't been to work. I just woke up, ate a good meal, and like I just have all the energy in the world to just work out. That's the type of experience I got with the MTS Clash versus the other two. It does not give you an abnormal sweat, so you're not going to have that heat up effect like you did on the Beyond Raw Lit or maybe even the C4. So I did not get that. Whereas I was drenched on the workouts with those two, I was not drenched on the workouts with the Clash. That's not a bad or a good thing. It's just something that I noticed about that. So that's something that you should keep in mind, as well as all these attributes, before you think about purchasing any of these, which is the point of this review. So overall, MTS Clash, definitely one of my favorites, all right? And last but not least, one that you guys are probably not familiar with and you definitely should check them out, Health Up Nutrition Rev Up pre-workout. Go over to the Instagram, check them out, look at it. It's definitely, and to me, this is kind of like the Rookie of the Year award. They definitely have delivered a product that you guys should consider experiencing. They got a great price point, as well as MTS Clash does. And I noticed that I like key points in this. It was pretty much like the MTS Clash, a good, steady, overall good pre-workout. Nothing was like overly exaggerated one way or the other, but it had a key attribute in it along with that I did like. Rev Up seemed to kind of encompass all of these pre-workouts and deliver these attributes on the same level. So one of the key attributes that I did notice was the mid onset, whereas you had a very high onset with Beyond Raw Lit and C4, and then a little to no onset with the MTS Clash. You had a medium onset with Rev Up, which is something that to me is like the Goldilocks thing. One's too hot, one's too cold, this one's just right. So it was in the middle, which to me is definitely not a good or a bad thing. It's like a gray area, which I did enjoy that. It does have a nice, solid, consistent pump that you seem to own, just as MTS Clash. So when you're on it, it's gonna feel like it's your pump. It doesn't feel like you're definitely getting assistance from something else to aid you in it. But that's the purpose of a pre-workout. At least that's what I use it for. I don't take pre-workouts all the time. If I've had a rough day and I need that extra little boost, that's when I take a pre-workout. And definitely if I do, I want to feel like I own that pump. I don't want to feel all abnormal and then after that, boom, I'm off to my regular self, which to me is a difference, which causes that crash effect. So Rev Up definitely accomplished the little to no crash effect as we get into that. Another thing is this: they did have the focus, the mental focus. They did have the solid pump. They did have little to no crash at all. And they did have a good little amount of sweat in it. So that's one thing I noticed. So it was like, okay, I got the steady pump. I got the mental focus, little to no crash, but I also get a little sweat. It wasn't as heavy as Beyond Raw Lit, but it was a nice medium sweat. So once again, we experienced that Goldilocks thing. Once too hot, once too cold, this one's just right. So with that being said, personally, I definitely got to let you guys know the two pre-workouts that I prefer, and I would use them both. And the two top pre-workouts in this pre-workout shootout are going to be Rev Up and MTS Clash. And I'm going to tell you why that is to me, personally to me. It might be different for you, which is the point of this review. I enjoy the fact that I don't have a hard onset hit and then an acute pump and a drop off. These two brands offer me something that feels like it totally belongs to me. All right, so I don't have a crash. I'm already going through the day doing multiple things. I'm trying to get my workout in, and there's nothing worse to me than feeling like after my workout, I just have to fall asleep on the bench because I still have other things I need to do. With that being said, I'm leaving it all in my workout, and because of the mental focus and the steady pump, I can afford to do that. And I love that about these two brands. The price point is awesome. And like I said, I'm going to link the description so you guys can check them out for yourself. I'm also going to hope that you guys check out some of the ingredients in these and make sure that it's something that's going to work for you. So like I said, guys, all of these pre-workouts have their attributes. Personally, to me, MTS and Rev Up are my two favorites, and those are the ones that I will continue to use. And the only thing that's going to differentiate between me using Clash or Rev Up is the fact if I feel like I want to burn a sweat or I don't. But both of these will be in my arsenal for my workout. So with that being said, guys, I enjoy you guys being here. If you have any questions, definitely comment below. Don't forget the links will be in the description below. Don't forget to check these out. Subscribe, like, click notification. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and of course on YouTube. And don't forget that guy's journey to the stage is happening. So you definitely want to see those when they come up. So hey, you guys take it easy. As I always say, stay healthy. Let's build together. Peace.